Right guys, welcome back to the Regal Gentleman YouTube channel and our transformation series. Today we've got Jack in the chair. How are you doing, Jack?
I'm good, thank
you.
You
alright? Yeah? How was lockdown?
Not too bad.
That's alright. Yeah, exactly, same here. Same here. So what is the plan today? What are you looking to do with your hair?
I'm not really sure. I want to keep quite a lot of the length.
Okay.
Quite a lot of this back bit is quite long.
Yeah. Are you not liking the length of the back, is it?
I don't mind it, but I just feel like, as you see it, like, it's quite difficult to deal with.
Yeah.
I do really like the length, and I've been growing out for like 7 months.
Wow, okay.
I don't want to...
Did you want to grow it for, like, was lockdown the kind of an excuse to grow it, or were you planning on growing it anyway?
Obviously, I started before lockdown.
Yeah.
Like, growing my hair out, but not really with a goal.
Yeah, okay.
But then lockdown made it quite a bit easier.
Yeah, totally, yeah, 100%. So what is the goal? Is it to get longer? Is that the plan?
Eventually, maybe. I'm not really sure, but I want to keep like length a lot on the top and grow that more. Yeah.
The hardest bit to grow is the back and sides. They're always the hardest bit because we're so used to, as men, having the hair short on the back and sides. Kind of what we've known since we were children. So essentially, you'd probably want to take the top a bit shorter to make the back and sides look a bit longer. But I mean, you've got good hair, mate. Super thick. It's got a little. It's quite straight. It's got a little bit of bend in there, but I mean, you can do a lot with your hair, mate, like you really can. If we remove some of this bulk through here and maybe took off, I would say you could get away with maybe a third of the length, so you're not getting this kind of mullety kind of like flick out at the bottom. You've got a lovely bit of length through here, so I think we could probably get away with taking a bit off here to make it look longer all over. If we can make it look as though your haircut's been cut like this style, and obviously then it lets you grow it out a bit longer, we'd probably want to keep a bit of length in the sides. And what we'll do,
tuck it behind my ear.
Tuck it behind you, yeah, exactly. Because if you look straight on, I mean, let me change the camera so if anyone else at home can see this. It's got a pretty wicked look already. And I think if we can accentuate this and make this look even better, I think personally that is what Jack is looking for today. I just think here is it kind of becoming a problem area. Would you agree, Jack? Would you agree these bits are becoming problems here? Yeah. Because it's kind of doesn't really know, it wants to fall this way, doesn't like just off center. But I want to be able to give you movement through the top. I want it to be able to fall whichever way you like it to, more than it being sort of stuck in the natural parting. I think that'll be a nice thing to do. So take the back down so it looks nice and fresh. You might want to keep a little bit of flick in there just to keep the whole idea of the balance of the longer hair. Yeah. But you don't need all this. You know, that's way too much. Especially when you put your fingers into the hairline, you pull it out. That is quite a lot. Yeah. Looking at your hairline, it does grow inwards. I could tell that's why it flicks out so much. Basically what happens at your neckline here, it grows into the middle and into a point at the bottom. Now, you've done a good thing. You've done the hardest part here really, is growing the neckline out. Because people with a neckline like this, it doesn't grow out like down. It grows inwards and then it almost has to come like a wave and flick back on itself. So you want to maintain a bit of length through the bottom here. But what we can do, if you think back to any of the crop fringes we've done, we're essentially going to do a similar thing to the neckline as we do with the crop. So we layer the hair heavier from just before the fringe to sit fuller into the fringe, but having that shorter fringe. We're going to reverse that technique and do it on the back, because I don't want, if I cut this too short, that's going to start sticking out because it grows in on itself. So yeah, I think this is an exciting one, this mate. This is going to look so nice.
I'm really excited for it.
Again, we've said this before, right? Transformations don't have to be skin fade to what you've got now. A transformation can transform your whole look. It can transform a hairstyle into a hairstyle, you know what I mean? So this isn't really, it's a hairstyle obviously, but it's not something that's been cut in, it's just a grown out look. But if we cut this into a hairstyle, I think that is transformative enough. Give it a shampoo, give it a condition, and then we'll start. All right? Yeah. Cool. So, guys, I've just shampooed and conditioned Jack's hair. Now, he's got wicked hair, man. He really has. I think he's made the right decision to grow it out. I really do. I think, so anybody out there who's grown the hair throughout the lockdown, and I'm sure there's people still in lockdown who are watching this as well, just keep going, because you will see something so different about what your hair texture is like. I think that's a lovely look there. But imagine that without all this weight on the bottom here and just breaking up the sides. We had a lot more texture working through here. So when he puts a bit of product in, even if it's a bit damp, if you put a bit of salt spray in there, even if you used a bit of like a cream or a lotion, it would just really help Jack slick his hair back as well. So I want to show you a really good technique today of how to keep length through here, but still blend it all into everywhere else. So I'm going to start off with a horseshoe section, because again, I'm focusing purely on the back and sides to start with, and then the top would be literally minimal trimming, and probably more just to kind of blend into the side, just to transition into that length on the sides, but it'd be mainly working with a razor to really break that hair up as well. Just working from Jack's recession. How old are you, if you don't mind me asking, Jack?
19.
19, so I've got to find Jack's recession, let's be honest, you know, he's got solid hair, 19-year-old head of hair here, so I'm just working from what I can see as a recession. He's still got a lot of baby hair working through there as well, that very light blonde hair, but imagine that's where the recession is. As you can see, it's not very strong at all. There's my horseshoe in. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to make sure that I try and leave as much length as I possibly can so that Jack can tuck it around his ear. The section just past the ear, I'll bring this section in to that section there. So essentially what I'm doing, I'm over directing everything from his hairline to just be behind the ear. If we cut it a bit shorter here, all this hair will be left and it'll sit round. And it'll work straight. Now by taking the section at the top higher, it automatically makes it longer down the bottom. So essentially we've got short section here, shorter than the bottom, which makes the bottom longer. Bring it out, got my guide, cut, and bring it straight out towards me. So look at that, it's completely parallel, okay? I'm not pulling it to one side, or to that side, I'm pulling everything out to the middle. So again, I'm over directing, so I'm taking long, short, long, short, long, short, all the way around. And what that does, it helps to break up the length. So I'll pull it out towards me. There's my guide, and use that to cut. So if I pick it up this way, what you'll see, as you pick it up, it gets naturally longer just because of the shape of the head. So essentially this bit here is the longest point, the longest bit of length through this section. The same principle of a crop fringe, leaving weight behind and building weight up behind the fringe to make it fuller. It's the same idea when you're working on a neckline like this as well. Straight out, there's my guide. Now, even if it looks like there's more length coming through the guide, if you see your guide and you're in the right place, don't worry, okay? This might just be from, you know, obviously he's been growing his hair now. How long has it been for? No, just 7 months. So Jack's been growing his hair for 7 months. No hair grows the same speed in the same place. His crown, this, like he said, he might, you know, he said he had a 2 into, was it 2 into 1? Did you say he had? It might have been left heavy at the crown by the previous barber. As long as you can see your guide, stick with it, okay? I mean, this haircut alone will be a great practice in sort of haircut for a beginner barber. There we go. Bring it down again, separate that. Bring it in from the previous section as your guide. There's my guide. Cut straight down. My guide from the top, guide from underneath. Taking this shorter and leaving more length, naturally following the head shape as you're just bringing it all straight out. For anyone who wants to grow the hair, it's a good technique to make the hair look longer as well, because essentially this is shorter, this is longer. So no matter what length your hair is at, as long as you can get your fingers through and you can leave a bit more length down the bottom, you can make a haircut look longer. They're my sections that I cut shorter. That matches there, that matches there, that matches there, and that matches there. So I know I'm on the right track. Pull it out. There we go, there's my guide. Nice and straight. There's a guide underneath, there's a guide from the top. There's my guide. Straight down. Bringing it back to just past the ear, to that section. Take it again. So we've got our guide. As we pull it out, there is my guide. Then working nice and straight all the way down. So since we've done here, we've cut it a bit shorter through the back. So we've got movement in there now. As you can see, it falls around. We get the length on the side, so it falls back around his ear. But as you can see, we're still keeping a nice bit of length to either side. Now, on the neckline, what we're going to do is I'm going to take the neckline a bit higher up and a bit shorter, especially through the middle here, because I don't think you need all that length. This neckline's quite high, look, see, it's got quite a high neckline. Look how long this is well. So I reckon we can go to about here and it'll still balance everywhere else as well. And just working above my finger with the razor, just to shatter through, okay? Just working it down like that, just remove that length. There we go, like that. So we're getting a really nice serrated finish on this now. I'm using the razor to work above it and work around his neckline and take away these little flicks that he doesn't like. And then just use your guide from the left hand side now to work along with the razor. Cut that in. Now I'm just going to use a bit of freehand on this now as well, so I want that to fall nicely, so I'm just going to pick it up. Just with using my own sort of understanding of where I want this to sit. Just going to twist it together. I'm going to razor in. Doesn't want too much flick, but we still want to keep a little bit of length in there. And that falls in nicely. So then just use other side of the razor just to kind of bring it in from where the hair sits back in. Almost use it to graduate that hair into the bottom there like that. Just run it across like that just to break it up. I'm just going to go above the section here and just work the corner of the razor just to break up the thickness through the middle. Like that. Brilliant. Now, I'm going to use the razor now just to force a little bit of direction, a little bit of texture in there as well. Just want to break this up a little bit. So just going in the way I want this hair to fall, just from the middle, just working a few little bits, just forcing that hair that way. Breaking it up a little bit like that. And break the back up as well. Start to thin the back out a little bit now as well. Just work the razor one way, like that, work it through, then through the other way again as well, just to kind of create a bit more of a kind of zigzaggy kind of finish on it as well. Through the back. So he's got a lot of weight through this bit here, so I bring that in and just cut that through there like that, just to balance in. What that'll do, it'll just help both sides go that little bit more evenly. So again, not everyone's hair grows the same, you know, the same length either side or nothing like that. It's just a tiny little bit of movement just through there. That's going to balance both sides now. Take this out of the section. And we're working horizontal sections into the sides now, okay? Just from the above the round the head, or so. I'm just going to separate that fringe as well, like that. Take a section through here. I'm going to pick it up and I'm going to see my guide from where we cut behind the ear. There is a guide, as you see, it gets longer that way. Okay, now I'm going to follow the same thing. Here we go, pick it up, point it in, pull it straight out. All that will do will help balance through that corner there, so it stays sitting back like that. And take another section. And now I'm going to switch over to work more vertical now. Pick it over, there won't be too much length coming off through this first bit here. I'm just going to point cut in. There's our guide. And you see that if you look at the angle of my fingers, maintaining it very parallel to the head as well. Just off center, okay? Just want to take a little bit of length off this corner, you see, like we said at the start. Got a point there, just above the round of the head. There we go, there's our guide, that's what we're looking for. Following this angle again, getting longer to the temple. Section just above it now. Here we go, there's our little guide coming through. Breaking this little point up here. See that through there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a section straight across. I just want to take a tiny bit off the fringe. So what I'm going to do now is we get to our right hand side, we'll have our guide from where we left it long. So that should just balance. There we go. See, the side looks a little bit longer. And there we go, that all matches now. So all that's left to do is texture through the top, and then we can dry it off. So working the razor now, going to put a little bit of collapse in there, so work from the bottom, like that, just up before the middle, only slightly, and then just thin it out, okay? If his hair was a lot shorter than this, I wouldn't put that much collapse in, because it would stick up. But because his hair's so long, it's really, really heavy as well, very thick. By the time them little bits at the root grow out, his hair will be long anyway, so it'll cover it, and it will keep it sitting flat as well. I'm just working through. So I'm not working on a sharp angle to add height, I'm just working it pretty flat, almost the same angle of the hair coming back. I'm just thinning the hair out, as you can see, okay? Gotta say, the sound is very satisfying as well. It is, isn't it? Yeah. There you go. I'm not going to put it in the fringe though, because the fringe will fall. He's got that super straight hair. It could fall a bit too heavy at the front, so I'm leaving any of the texturizing away from the fringe. The reason I know that might happen is because that happens to me. So I know that's happened in the past when someone may have like point cut really deep into my fringe, and what's happened there is that it just gets these little spiky bits falling out, and I don't really want Jack to have that. So, and I'm going to work the razor back towards me, okay? Because again, I'm just cutting it at different angles so it falls in different ways. That's the only reason behind it, really. this way now. There we go. And that is it done. I think once it's dry, I'll make sure the ends are all right on the bottom. That's essentially it. So what we'll do, we'll dry it off and then I'll start it out for you, but I'll show you once it's all dried how it falls, all right? Any salt spray will be fine, and I want this to be really, really natural, okay? So I'm just using a brush similar to this. Anything similar to this you've got is perfect. Just like the air flows through it easier, and it comes through the hair easier as well. If you just see, I'm just literally just hooking it around just to dry it through. But look at that shape we've created through the back there. Keeping that weight longer here, just bottom cuts a bit shorter. That shape is just so nice from the side there. Just wrapping it around the brush to give it a bit of height in there. Only a little bit though. And just work that round so it sits nice and flat. But as you can see, that's fallen so many different angles, so many different ways, because the way we've cut it. If we'd have cut it in one way, it would just fall that way. Because we added the razor in there as well, to really break up how we want it to fall when it's dry. This is what creates that kind of that movement to the top. Hair dryer the other way around, and just bring that up like that. Wrap it around the brush to give it a bit more height if you want. I think it looks nice with a bit more height. I'll do it. Doesn't have to do it himself. It can fall any way he wants. Heat off, cold button pressed. If you haven't got a cold button, just turn the heat off, and just use this just to set that shape in there as well. Good thing as well, when you add the cold air to it, it stops the product from melting, especially in longer hair like this, because the heat, it will retain the heat more because there's more hair. Okay. How's that looking for you, mate? Perfect. Happy, yeah? A little flick. See, you've got a little bit of flick, but it's nothing like it was, okay? I don't think it's worth taking too much off that corner there, like the sides of the neckline, because I just want to make sure it still falls heavy, okay? But it's all completely balanced now, yeah, okay? Looks lovely, doesn't it? So I'm going to apply a little bit of product to this just to enhance the look. I'm going to use a bit of cream, to be fair. Now, I'm going to start through the front, like that, as so. Again, rub my hands together again, go through the sides, like that. Rub my hair into the palm of my hands, I really coat that hair. And then the rest of it, just going to work through the back, as so. So work that through. Now, his hair is just completely eaten up my product, completely. So that little bit I had in the back of my hand, add a bit more in. And now, I'm going to use this as the finishing touches, okay? So, again, like when he came in, a little bit loose, not too heavy on a part, and just let it fall quite natural. Use my fingers to get a bit of height in there as well. Tuck that around again, bring that down, so it all sits nice. And just kind of play on this natural kind of part that he's got as well. It doesn't have to fall in there, it just wants to fall in there anyway, so let's just kind of play with it. Here we go. How's that?
Looks fantastic.
Yeah, happy, yeah? So what you've got now, you've got that bit more of a natural finish.
Wow, it's changed a lot.
Down the bottom. It has, hasn't it, yeah? Just sits just really nice in to the neckline as well.
Perfect.
But now it looks like you've got a longer haircut.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like you've grown it out, you know? Jack wants to keep his hair long. He wants to maintain quite a lot of length in there, which I was definitely happy to do so because he's got wicked hair, very straight, lovely, thick hair, youth on his side, you know? Oh, to be 19 again. And yeah, we just want to try and, he wanted to keep it longer. I wanted to keep it longer. But we just need to put shape in it. We need to make this haircut look as though it was a longer hairstyle, not like he's waited 7 months for it to end up like that. And that's pretty much it. I wouldn't do anything else to it. All right, man? Thank you, Jack. You're very welcome, mate. Thank you.